So we're looking at types of data today. When you get a set of data, you can classify it in two different ways to start with. Quantitative or qualitative. Let's break down those words a bit more. Quantitative sounds a bit like the word quantity, quantities of things, and this type of data involves numbers. Qualitative sounds a bit like the word quality and the quality of things, and so this is involves categories. Okay, so back in this quantitative data, or sometimes called numerical data, there's two sets within this. There's discrete data and continuous. Okay, so discrete data are things that can be counted. So it involves numbers, data that can be counted. So, for example, your grade at school that you've been in, you started off, grade 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. These are things that you can count, as well as number of people in a room. Another one is that's often sometimes confused with continuous data is actually shoe size. So that's discrete data because you can only ever be one thing at a time. You can only ever be size 6, 6.5, 7. Likewise, you can only ever be one grade at school. So that's classed as discrete data, whereas continuous data is measured or measurable data. So things like height and weight are the classic ones that get measured. So you might think that you're 1.5 metres tall or 150 centimetres, but you've actually been every height, every centimetre in your life at some point. Your weight, your height at birth, and then you have grown, and you're every little bit of centimetres in between. So you think you might be 151 centimetres, but you're probably 151.2347. So continuous data here is heights and weights, because the numbers in between are on a continuous scale, whereas discrete data are things that you can count, number of people in a room, shoe size. Okay, so that's numerical data or quantitative data. Then things that have categories in them. The two types of categories you can have is nominal or ordinal. Nominal data actually has no order, whereas ordinal data has an order, as the word might imply there. What's nominal data that's got a category? Things like colours of cars. So there's all the different categories that you could have for that, red, blue, yellow, green, but there's no order within them. So that's a categorical data, qualitative. And then things that do have an order. Things like when you do a survey, and you might be surveying the quality of food at the canteen from poor, average, good, very good. We could class that as surveys having an order. Or your grades at school. That when you get your term grade, you could get grades like E, D, hopefully not, C, B, and A. So that type of data, your grades, involves categories, but categories that are in an order, so that's called ordinal data. So, four main types here. Does it involve numbers or categories, you ask yourself? If it's categories, do the categories have an order or no order? And if they involve numbers, can you count the numbers, number of people in a room, or are they measured things like heights and weights, and there could be lots of in-between micro sizes that means that data is continuous. So that's types of data.